thank you everyone for coming. We really appreciate you coming out to visit the wedding for my parents. I know, it's quite an event, for sure. I'm going to be the minister this evening, just to add to the weirdness of the whole I've never done this before, so I've scripted it out, wrote it this morning, and so here we go. So again, thanks for coming, everybody. Especially thanks to all the musicians to play. That was really nice to hear. The didge and the conch shell, obviously, making an appearance, and the violin, and the Deaners doing the guitar. It's really nice. Thanks to everyone that traveled from afar to be here. Special thanks to the grandparents for coming all the way from England. I don't know how many of you know this, but this is actually my parents' second track at this whole wedding thing. So the first time they did this was on the East Coast when we first came to the States. And it was much less attended. This is a much better turnout. The first one, it was basically my brother and I, and my parents, and a priest that we didn't know, doing the ceremony. So I had the role of best man and cameraman, and my brother was a bridesmaid and flower girl! So this time I feel like I got off pretty easy just being the minister. So here we go. We are here this evening to celebrate the 30 years that my parents have so happily shared together and finally give them the wedding that they are so long overdue for. After all, if my parents had married when they were supposed to, back when they were 27, we would actually be celebrating their pearl anniversary tonight, which is the 30th anniversary. So, there we are. Also, another interesting little tidbit, the average engagement length in the States is 15 months. So my parents overshot that by 28 years. But there's a lot of things that are obviously a little out of the ordinary. Another example being that they took their honeymoon, back when they were 28, they took a year-long honeymoon on their first boat, Split Infinity. So they've already got that out of the way about 30 years ago. So they took care of all the good stuff, and now we have the wedding. Anyway, as most of you know, these guys, they live their life by their own rules. And so as both my brother and I were growing up living with them, we got a unique perspective on what married life looks like. And I really say this from the bottom of my heart, that in my eyes, these two are more in love and are better made for each other than any couple I've ever seen. They have led amazing and unique lives together, and my brother and I are both very proud to be part of this family. So, okay, that's the first bit. So far, so good. All right. Yeah, okay. Anyone need a drink, an intermission? I know I need a drink, so. Cheers. My mom gave me some insight a few years ago on why these two make such a great team. And she said one of the reasons that they've done so well over all these years, they do have a lot in common. Most importantly in my mind is a sense of adventure, obviously traveling so much and starting their own businesses and, really kind of doing it not by the book. And another thing I think they share is really trying to cram as much fun as they can into their lives, which I really respect. I try and do my best. But nothing that makes them work so well as a not married couple is the fact that they are different people. And an example of this actually can be seen behind us here in this house and the house that they have built together. Basically, my dad brings to the table a certain set of skills and a certain personality to the houses. He brings the architectural know-how, the nuts and bolts, and he also brings the ability to swing the hammers. Even if the nails end up in his leg. My mom brings her talent for aesthetics and putting the finishing touches on houses that really make them amazing, such as the gold trim, which I was really skeptical about, and putting spaghetti on the cabinet covers and things like this. So, but it really works, and together they do build amazing houses. They couldn't build together individually, so it's kind of a metaphor for just how well they do work, differently but together. They do complement each other. And they built so much more than just houses. They built an amazing life together, which is, I think, the most impressive thing. Yes, sorry, I'm taking out your line. I forgot my I joke. That's it. Like I said, it's my first time doing this, so I give him a discount. Anyway, what I did want to say is not to be overlooked in the whole house building metaphor. You know, even though she's small, she can definitely swing a sledgehammer, and if the place needs opening up, she's the job, smashing the walls. So that's Mum for you.
When you were in your stroller.
Right, that's exactly it. Yeah. So, Mum and Dad, you've been an incredible example for Henry and I, and we are honored to be here to celebrate your 30 years of dating. And to finally get you hitched for many, many happy years to come. So without further ado, let's tie the knot and get back to the party. Mom and Dad, you can now exchange your vows.
Oh gosh.
Dad, start?
No, Mother
okay,
starts.
Mother starts, sorry. Like I said, I'm an amateur. Yeah, right.